Okay, let's wait a second. Let's okay. So many browsers, endless browsers. So someone can hear me already? Yeah, I hope. Maybe you can comment if not. Okay. So today is the 5th Recursive Rhythm Get-Together. Still online, not in real life. Let's see how long. I prepared today some stuff. I need to check because I forget it. Yes, I want to show you my extended rhythm pyramid. Hey people. And I don't know, this is something I developed years ago. I can't remember when. Maybe it's somewhere written. I don't know. I forgot. It's not that important, but I'm gonna show you what I did. So it's first of all, it's a compositional tool for me, and more getting an improvisational tool. So I mean, isn't it always like this? I don't know. So it is, I take all the numbers from 1 till 8 and multiply them with 1 till 8. So I get numbers until 64, but the highest prime number is just 7. So this means maybe I can show here. Something. Right, so is this working? Yeah, cool. So perfectly prepared today. So I have numbers from 1 till 8. Multiply them with 1 till 8 and play them over the same thing, 1 till 8. So 1 till 8, and then you get so an example, 4 times 5 over 3 times 7, then you have like 20 over 21, right? Is this right? Yeah. Yeah, all these possibilities, and then I counted them together, if you can say this, and there are 331 relationships, so polyrhythms and relationships. You can use, now I show you the whole thing. I already had it in my post, but here it is. I hope you can see it. I'm gonna scroll up. So this is the whole thing. I hope you can see my mouse. I'm not sure, but I think I checked it out before. I hope it's working. So this, yeah, it's the numbers 1 till 8, for example, in this row. Then everything multiplied, so 9, and you see the prime numbers are missing. And what is also missing? Everything higher than 16 multiplied also. For example, 38, 2 times 17. So the prime numbers, the multiplied numbers of the prime numbers, they are missing. Here it's the same. So this, and then you see the relationships. For example, yeah, let's say a simple one. If I play 3 over 4, so 3 here over 4, the relationship is 1.333 and so on. So, and this is interesting for me to know. I mean, I don't know every relationship by heart, but some of them I know. And it's interesting for composing and also improvising if you know if something is getting slower or faster. For example, if it's quite close. For example, 4 septuplets are 0.574 quarter notes long, and for example, yeah, what do we have? Yeah, 9 quintuplet, 9 tuplets are 0.55 quarters long. Yeah, so this is yeah, that's a cool thing to know. And oops, where am I? Here. So what I did, then there are endless relationships. They are the same. So this I just erased. So this is all the different relationships with this rule: no higher prime number than 7. So then you get 30. Here I have it, 331 relationships, and then I wrote different stuff here in my this row is all the relationships, and you see it's endless stuff. Yeah, so all this, and then I yeah, I put some, for example, just because this is an endless mess, so then I just took some, for example, the 20 relationships over the number, the quarter note, and 20 under. So these are the relationships. You see here in the middle is the 1, 20 above, 20 below. And for one song, I decided to take the relationship 2 until 0.5, and just with numbers until 8. So if it's x over y, the y is just until 8. You can see here 2, 7, and so on. And yeah, here are the relationships, and this is what I gonna show you now, which became the fundament of my composition. So now I need where is it? Yes, here. So, and the composition exactly took these numbers, and before I show you all in notation and how I wrote it, I will clap you some of these rhythms or the whole thing. So it's 29 relationships, and if I clap them, then it sounds like this, just to get the funny sound, what's happening. You will immediately hear what's going on. So I will count something, I don't know, it's not that important yet, it's just to get the sound. So this was the whole sequence, and yeah, so these are the relationships, the 29. So I think even I had 2 times I had some troubles. So you could hear that one is more or less staying the same, I hope, speed, and the other voice is accelerating. So this is the idea of the song. So this whole huge pyramid, this thing brought me to the idea for this composition. So I wanted something to accelerate, but with more detailed relationships, not just 8 notes, 8-note triplets, 16 notes and 16 quintuplets, and so on. It's just another possibility. So you can use the other one, is also cool, but so now I show you the relationships in detail. I can think maybe on this, or I also have it here, maybe this makes more sense. Yes. So this is more or less the whole composition for the whole this direction song. It's also a song I composed for my band Zur Schönen Aussicht with Flo Lauer, Paul Beverich. It's called Neu 3. It's also not that creative, but something, I would say. So yeah, so what's happening first? So we have the relationship. If we go for a second back to this thing I showed you. It's horrible to find the. So here you can see it again, the relationship 2 and so on. This is in the end the same thing, like this you can see on the left side here. So it's 2 over 4, 4 over 7, 3 over 5, 5 over 8, and so on. Yeah. This now I try to show you again the thing, and I do it with a metronome. Then it's maybe more clear. I think everybody can hear the click. So here we have to go. So if this is now it's 120, the whole song is in 160, but I do it first. I do it in this tempo for you. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, fuck, again, 9 over 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, down. Oh, yeah, this is the rhythm. Yeah, I think now it's clear. It's getting faster, the whole thing. What a surprise! Yeah. Yeah, the first thing maybe looked a bit yeah, technically or something. It's mathematics, but it brings you to a funny thing, I would say. And yeah, so it's also the in the end the idea to know the whole song by heart. So yeah, it's, I mean, you can see some, maybe I know I used a mobile phone, sorry, it's easier to show you what I mean. Yeah. So here are So to learn this by heart, it's not the easiest thing, but I divided, like you can see, in groups of 4 here and here, and there are some things there you somehow can find some. I mean, this here from here, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 8. I mean, this relationship, it's not. It's something you can keep in mind a bit better, and the same here until here. But always there are some relationships, so it's not that easy. But so this song we also never recorded or played somewhere yet, but at one point it will happen. I think we do recordings in June, so we have some time to practice this stuff. So yeah, I mean the relationships. I think. I mean in my last streams, I already showed how to do this, I guess. But for just to repeat some few things, and then yeah, it's also a matter of tempo, always, how you think or approach the polyrhythms. So let's take an easy one, the 4/7, this one, for example, here. Yeah, it's always the same thing. 4 means the subdivision, so this means the 16 note, and over 7 means 7 becomes the grouping. So I group my 16 notes in 7. So I have yeah, it's the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Thing. Yeah, and you could hear me struggling before when I did it, the whole sequence, the whole cycle. For me, it's way more complicated to count the quarter notes. Even in English, it's becomes a bit more complicated for me. So I tried, but if I count the left row, this is way easier for me. I don't know. You can because you think the new pulse, and I mean you have the old pulse still, but it's for me it's easier to count this. I do it, maybe I start from the beginning again for you. So if I just count the 2, then the 4, then the 3, then the 5 at the beginning, for example. 1, I count you 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, again. For example, it's way easier. You can experiment with it than to count the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Yeah, the first 8 polyrhythms. So yeah, I think it's worth to be able to count both of them. always. So it's yeah. I mean, it's not especially for this song. I mean, it's always the same, but other people are also playing something. So in the band, so it's worth to check out both sides of the polyrhythm and to be able to follow the quarter notes or the measures, the bars, and also the superimposed parts. So then here you can maybe another. So for example, 9/8. If we are in a tempo of 160, maybe something like this. Then, yeah, I think it in 3/8, which means every 8th triplet. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and in this I put 3. So 3 times 3 get 9. So and this 3/8 I really have quite good where it is, and then I put my 3 inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Da ki da 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 da. Yeah. Correctly, you should do 9 tuplets grouped in 8, right? Same example than we had with the 4/7, which you can do, but in the tempo of 160 beats, it doesn't make sense. At least I can't feel the 9 tuplets anymore. So, but you would have every 8th 9 tablet. This is the thing, but yeah, how fast you saw how slow my quarter notes are. So I take the other option, but I mean, it's always worth to check out the polyrhythms from different sides and so on, you know, all this stuff. So, but yeah, this is what I did before I was playing this song, sure, but yeah, still in the end you have to play it, and then you need to know the best solution for this, especially this song. So then so someone's there still, yeah. So then yeah, the composition is not just made out of rhythms, it also has some tones, but it's not the most important thing. But you can see here this means the tones I'm playing within this polyrhythms, and you maybe saw this first, second, third, and there's this one is the fourth. Can add also here somewhere to not destroy my original. Something like this. And yeah, this is what I'm playing the first time is this. So the polyrhythms, it reminds me that I had a record release tour without a record and now without a tour. Nice, the calendar. So Max, this is it's not happening. Our tour. So the first time I play this, then the second time you can see here maybe I just take the tones G, B natural, B flat, and F. So this thing, and I play a 4/4 meter with half notes. I just play superimpose 4/4 over all these bars, and so I mean this 4, 8, 5, and so on. These are the measures, and now I just play 4/4 meter over all of this until here. Here is a I start to play the 3/5, 4/7 to come back to the third part, and this I play in this direction again. And here is the tricky part of the composition. Until now, it's somehow handled. You can handle it somehow, but this part, this is becomes a bit annoying. So, and you can see I have a G, 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 B, 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 B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat, F, 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 G, G, and so on. So each tone 4 times. So which means this thing, and this I play through the whole polyrhythms. This yeah, with this in by heart it becomes a bit a lot of information, but still once I reached it, but now I didn't. I mean, this song is, I don't know, 4 years old or longer, I don't know. And sometimes I put it, and we try it also in a band, and then I try it for myself and try to somehow memorize all this shit and this stuff. Sorry. And yeah, but it goes definitely, it goes away if you don't do it all the time. But yeah, so now it makes sense to prepare our recordings, at least for me, to practice it again. So now I try to show you what I mean, what's happening. Maybe I'm not sure if I managed the whole thing. So today, yeah, maybe this is worth to mention. Today is somehow my contribution of the imperfection. I mean, we always try to show the perfect stuff. Some people not. Some people just give a shit. They just play and that's it. But with me, I always try to show the best I can. This time, this is too complicated right now for me, so I show you something not perfect, but yeah, it's also fun, and I think it's also interesting. Maybe it shows you more how I try, how I do it, and this maybe helps you more farther than someone just show you, yeah, it's like this, look. And I think, which is cool in the end, yeah, you know. But yeah, so yeah, maybe, I mean, maybe perfectionism is maybe a mental disease, I don't know, which doesn't, I mean, it pushes you, but in the same time it's you don't dare to present stuff, it also doesn't make sense. Don't know. What do you think about this kind of thing? But so this is my contribution of showing you me trying to do something. Yeah, I just start again and try to sing even. I mean, this is the thing I can't really do. Okay, so let's see. You also want to see it? I show you this, then I can. Bam. I can use this better. So. If I do it now, here, so I count 1, 2, boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, do, do. For me, it makes sense to say daka dime also to. So I sing the 4 notes daka dime, daka dime, daka dime. And this should accelerate, speed up, right? 2, 3, 4. Da, ga, de, me, da, ga, de, me, da, ga, de, me, da, ga, de, me. It's too complex like this. I try it here. Again, sorry. 1, 2, 3, da, de, de, me, da, ga, 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 me, da, ga, de, 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 me, da. So this was at least just to let you follow the thing. Don't know if you followed, but I arrived here. Yeah. So I think it was quite cool until here. But I think you could hear how the melody do 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 do. It's accelerating through these polyrhythms, and yeah, so that's the fun part. So, but just to show you why it is that hard. Until here it's okay, but there are some parts they are annoying. It's always easy if it somehow the new tone starts on a downbeat. So for example here, until here, I mean, this is quite easy. Then here it's also quite easy. You have 4 times the G in the 5/7, 1B. This is quite easy, so you can remember this. Dong, gong, 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 gang. Then this comes, and then you have 3 times 3/4. It's easy polyrhythm, the B, and then 4 times the B flat and the 4/5. So if I start here, it's just these 3 relationships. Gong, 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 gang, 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 gong, 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 gang, and did this. But yeah, so this is quite easy. But if it's, for example, this 7/8, then it's a bit, or this relationship is also at least for me. You can try out if you want. Or 8/7 is for me 4/7, and then put 3. Gang, 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 gong, gong, gang, 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 gong, gong, gang, 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 gang. It's a cool rhythm, which is not that complicated. But if you don't have it grouped in 4, then so it's 1, 4, 3. This, yeah, it becomes a bit more complex. I think you agree. I don't know. At least for me, it's. I mean, yeah, you have to work with it. So, and if you come to higher relationships, then it becomes even worse. Maybe I try the last 4. So first I try the rhythms again. Maybe I do here. No, I do here. So 12/7 is 4/7 and 3 equidistant inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Gong, king, gong, gong, king, gong, king, 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 king, gong, king. And then we have the boom, pim, 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 pim. And so if I count, always daka deme, I'm here on the G. Then again on the B, daka deme, B flat, daka deme, and so on. This is why I start with daka deme. So I'm saying me, daka deme, me, daka deme, daka deme, daka deme, and then I'm back here with the 12/7. Me, da, da, me, daka deme, me, daka deme, daka deme, da, me, da, 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 da. Me da ga de me da ga de me da gi da me da first the rhythm gong 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 da 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 gi 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 da da and me da ga de me da ga de me da ga de me da ga de me. Yeah. So you see, this is yeah, just one line out of 29. So this is a complex one, but yeah, in the end I need to practice it row per row. So yeah, it's stuff to do, but then it becomes very easy to play it, definitely, if you're able to do this. So, and yeah, here I add, I mean, that's, yeah, sometimes my 4 or 16 note isomelody doesn't fit in all these numbers. If I count this together, then 2 are missing, so I just put 2 B flat on the end. You will hear it later. But it's not that. I mean, in the end, you always have to handle it. It's not that just because I put a certain system or concept on another, so which means the 16 note isomelody to the polyrhythms. If it's not fitting, I mean, then you have to solve the problem somehow musically. So the last thing is the 4th row, and so I play the so when I say me, then it's the guitar, the bass plays the bars, the measures in this direction again, and with the with this hexatonic, it's a it's, I mean, in the end, it's the eighth. I think it's the eighth Messiaen mode. And the Messiaen here 7 modes, but at one point someone said, "Hey, you missed one," and yeah. So there's an eighth, but this you all know already. It's a 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. So it becomes a hexatonic 6-note scale, and this I put over the G, which is the root do 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 do, this thing. Yeah, so it's A, B flat, C sharp, D, F, F sharp. At least I do it like this. So you have a half tone, 3 half tones, half tone, 3 half tones, half tone to the A, 3 half tones. And this I put under the G. It's a scale I like. So you all know it's 3. I mean, Bartok, I don't know, Coltrane, they all took this scale and made something out of it. So it's nothing special, but still fun. So this is the yeah, the bass line, and now I think it's time to show you the song in the as a score. But yeah, I always don't want to show the score, but now I do. Yeah, but you see the I mean, so maybe before I show you this, so the saxophone is the idea is saxophone starts the first row in this direction, then in this and this and this, so it plays the whole thing backwards, I think, and also the drums. But I show you now in the score, maybe then you can see it better. So I hope you see the score. Can you see the mouse? Would be interesting for me to know if you can see it now. Here's my mouse. I tried to check it out, but I'm not sure. But maybe someone can give me a comment. I know it's delayed, so I wait a second, but it's maybe good to know. Yes. Woo, cool. So where I am here. So yeah, so the saxophone is playing nothing at the beginning, you see. So here we have the D, G, A, B, which is where is it? Sorry. So this is the D, G, A, B flat, then I have a C sharp, G, A, B flat, then again D, and so on. So there is a B natural also somewhere, which is not in this scale, but I'm not strict, so I mix different scales here, but yeah, at one point I explain my scales, not today, but it's not that important, I would say, right now. So back to this thing, and so drums are playing like just half notes, more or less. Guitar starts, saxophone just plays a few notes, and he's also playing, you see, D sharp, D, C sharp, G, B major, B flat, F. He's playing also with the scale, And here are the relationships you see, but now I try to come to the next part, which is more interesting here. Now we are bar 29, so now we are, so this means we are here, the second row, and I play this 4/4 meter I mentioned before. This. So you see 1 2 3 4, then 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2, and so on. Yeah, through the bars, the drums is 1 2 3 4 3 4 is playing a half, also half time beat, backbeat, and the saxophone is playing the thing in the other direction, you see, yeah? The saxophone is playing the whole thing backwards, so 8/4, 15/8, 9/5, 7/4, and so on. Yeah, we do this. Drum stays. So I mean, the drums is really roughly notated. It's not at all like it will be in the end. Here's the part I mentioned before. We come back, and now here's the half of the composition, and now it's happening this dong gong 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 gang 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 gong gong. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, you see, we play this 4-note melody, and the saxophone is playing the same I did, don't, the whole bars. So he's playing the the quarter notes against this, and the drums is also playing together with the guitar. Dum tse gatze bum tse gatze. Really simple, same 4-note ISO melody through these things. And if we're gonna listen later, you will see it. It's funny to listen to it because the saxophone is playing the quarter notes, and it's somehow because the drums and the guitar are speeding up. It's a bit, has a weird feeling, which I like a lot. So, and here we are come to the last part. So I play this 8th Messiah mode with the G in the bass, and through all the bars, you see, it's also an ascending thing. It's the same idea like the rhythms. It's ascending and descending. The form is ascending. Maybe I'll show you. The form is ascending, descending, ascending, descending. The notes are ascending and descending. The polyrhythms, the speed. So it's this. The whole thing is this idea. Yeah. So, and the drums, they are playing a simple groove. I mean, and yeah, saxophone is playing again the polyrhythms, all the relationships. Guitar just has to remember the bars, how long they are, playing the ascending line. This happens, I think, 1 2 3 4 times, and then there's an ending at one point. I show you later. So yeah, I think this is already something. I play you the MIDI now, and yeah, again with the score, and then yeah, let's just see what's happening. So it's 160. It's a bit faster than I did at the beginning. So that's the song. Yeah, so this brings definitely some yeah. So I mean, it seems like a really determined thing, like a classical tune or something, but it shouldn't. It's not meant like this. So it's still contingencies. It's about this topic, the tune, and it's also it was funny a lot of. It's also talk in the discussions within the band, because I mean, yeah, I mean, to learn this by heart is a lot of work, and all the polyrhythms, yeah, I mean, then the isomelody in the third part, so it's a lot to do, and you don't really, if you come from an improviser side, so there's nothing you can do at the beginning, but yeah, I think it makes sense to have these challenges, also not just for your own, also within a band, because I think it pushes the whole band way farther. So, I mean, if you never do these challenges, you will never come to the next level of improvisation with this kind of stuff. For me, it's clear, but it's a tough and hard work and a long process. I mean, years. Yeah, then you have to decide with the band if you wanna, and every person playing in the band, if you wanna, yeah, invest all the time, or if you wanna, I don't know, you could also do other stuff this time. I don't know, going for walks, having fun with other stuff. Don't know, or not having fun with other stuff, but it, yeah, for me it's clear. To it's part of the game, so I wanna push it farther. So it's it's a yeah, one tool. I mean, you all do with your instruments and stuff, but yeah, I try with rhythms and stuff. So for me, it makes sense. But it's always the question, okay, what, yeah, we are guessing we will become this at this age. How much time do I want to spend with this topic or this part of life and stuff? I mean, it's always the same. So you can sit your whole life and just practice in your room, or you can also do, I don't know, go to some, you all know this. So what, now I talked about it. So where's the improvisation in the whole thing? So the improvisation could be no, sorry. This I mean, all the tones you can improvise with. That's clear. The isomelody can be different. So you see, it's a fundament of it's yeah. You always can say it. The composition is never. It depends on the people who play it. It's never, even if it's that determined than this, but still I can I imagine us doing more interactive stuff with this. So once we reach the possibility to really play with it, I mean the ability to then I mean it takes some time, but yeah, I don't know. I just keep going. I don't care somehow. So for example, the first row, or even if it's something like 9/8, for example, this I think, like I told you already, in 3/8 and put 3 inside. Here I have 4/7, put 2. Here I also think 3/5 and put 2. So let's take this part. I show you how I think you can do variations and stuff. So for example, the 9/8, I mean the idea of the composition is it's getting faster and faster, but there can be some interruptions. So this sounds a bit boring also. I mean, it's fun, but 4 times the same thing is boring. So you need to do some interactive stuff. And for example, here it's now an idea I just got. So I take this 9/8. So I think 3/8. I put 3, 3, 3, but I can also here and there change the numbers what I put inside and still keep going the flow in an accelerating thing. If I just I just switch between 9/8 and 8/7, and I show you what I mean. So 3/8 I think, and also 4/7 I think for now. And so 3/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gong gang gong gang gang gong gang gang gong gang gong gang 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 da da ki de da ga de ne da ki da da ge da ki da da ge da ki de da ki de da ga de ne da da ki de da. So you saw I put higher 3, 2 and 4, for example, inside the main accents. And do I want to say accent? The main poly pulse, yeah. So now the same thing with 4/7, which is the base for 8/7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gong gang gong gang gong gang gong gang gong gong gang gong gang gong gang gong gang gong gong. So if I do this with the 9/8 and 8/7, or better said 3/8 and 4/7, and experiment a little bit, you will see what I mean. So it's going back to I just do sometimes variations, so it goes back to the accelerating speed. I mean, maybe I do a few more, but let's see what's happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So gong gang gang gong gang gong 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 gang gong gang gong gang gong gang gong gong. So I did a few variations, but if I do this for a longer time, then you will see still I think this will be the game of to still make an acceleration, but with some variation. So if I do it, for example, here again, I show you this 10/7 is 5/7 and put 2, 3/2 is clear, 8/5 is 4/5, put 2, 5/3 is 5/3, and try, I clap it for you in the normal thing. 1, 2, 3, and back to the 10/7. This is 10/7, 3/2, 8/5, 5/3, back. You see it's getting faster. Here we are back in the 10/7. 8/5. Now I do the Some little variations, for example, and it still keeps the flow, I would say. I hope you could hear it. For me, I did a bit. Yeah. Some, yeah, this could be an option, or I don't know, endless options, but to make more, to make it more an improvised thing. So even it's, yeah, I mean, it's with everything you learn. So I don't know. It's always, if it's just a higher level. If if you use the word determinated, you hear it the first time, then you don't know what it means. Then you check out what is determinated. Then you say it at one point in a conversation. Then you maybe think, what did I say? Is this right? Then you check out if it's in the correct context, if it means this what you wanted to say, and so on. At one point you just use it, and it's the same thing with this, right? And yeah, so I can also stop and say, okay, it's too much. It's a foreign. It's a, how do you say this? Do you say foreign word? So a word used from another source. Not so. Yeah, I don't wanna use it. So you can, but yeah, I mean, this is the process of learning, evolution, stuff. I don't know. For me, it makes sense. I hope you can somehow follow what I mean. So, yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to show else, did I show everything? I think this was something. What I wanted to show you else. Another thing I was trying is playing the last days to clap this dong go gong ding go gong ding go gong, this rhythm, but I think you don't need this anymore. But I need to move it in triplets and also in septuplets, for example. I show it with my it's gone, sorry. So it is dun 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 dun. It's clear, it's a 5 pattern, so and it sounds like this. So these are my quarters, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then here my triplets. Gong gang gang, gong gang gang, gang gang gang, gong gang gang, gang gong gang. Here my septuplets. Yeah, this both together. Yeah, you saw. So now I show you the process, how I'm struggling with this imperfection day. So so what I'm doing, so I need to think first one of these both speeds. In triplets, yeah, or the other one in 7 tablets. Yeah, the pattern. Then you try all variations. So first I started to sing. I clapped the triplet thing and tried to sing. I mean, dun 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 in septuplets is in the end a 7/5, right? Da da me da ki da dun 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 dun. It's the same, just with a pattern. So and now I clap a 3 in the dun 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 pattern in triplets. Sorry, and try to sing the 7/5. So this, I think this was the first thing I do. Yeah, more or less, I would say. So then I do dun 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 dun. I sing this rhythm and clap the septuplets and clap the triplets. Yeah. And then you can do it the other way around. You clap the 7 tablet thing, and you sing the 3/5, which is the pattern in triplets, right? Instead of ding, go, ding, ding, go, ding, ding, go, ding, I sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I clap this while sing this while I clap my dum 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 da ki de yeah da 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 de da de de da. Yeah, this is, you see, it's, I'm struggling here. It's the harder one. If you have to, for me at least, if you have to sing the slower one, it's harder than to sing the faster one for me. But still, you see, this is a hard thing. So I really need the metronome. It's easy to sing, or way easier to sing one, which is in the end also an important thing. If you want to clap both, it's really an independence thing. It depends if you want to spend time with this or what do you play. If you play, I don't know, something with two hands, then it makes sense. But it's a lot of extra work. So I don't know how much time I will spend with this, but sometimes I do. It's a fun thing for your brain, I think. This independent stuff. So I also like it, but it's also annoying because, yeah, it's a lot of work. And yeah, I really check out, definitely this I have to add, where, like I said in all the other live streams already, that it makes sense to relate the so if we have a quarter note now, relate the third rhythm to the second. So if my second rhythm is the pattern in septuplets, then I think where are the triplets related to the septuplets? This is way easier to think than where is my triplets related to the quarter note. At least for me, I do it like this, and then I check out, okay, where is my 3/5 related to the 7/5? Yeah. And it's, if you play both 7/3, then you also see it. Or if I have you see the three times, and then shortly after there's the next quarter note, which means if I play the septuplets and then the dun 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 dun, and shortly dun 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 dun. Here's my here begins my next triplet 5 pattern. This, for example, I know this is for me at least important. It's a mixture of hearing it, switching extremely fast between the both layers, and also just you can listen to the metronome and try to fix it, and then sing one thing, clap the other thing, and then clapping both, and yeah, so it's a lot of approaches you have to combine, I think. So okay, now I think this was enough imperfection. I wanna show you something. I was a little bit reading, listening about Thomas Piketty. It's a French economist. No water. Okay, doesn't matter. And this guy, yeah, he has interesting thoughts, I would say. So I mean, yeah, it's not that I think this, a lot of people think it, but it makes sense to me that now is the time to change stuff. So in a crisis, where if you don't do it in crisis, when do we want to do it? If not now, if we try to come back as fast as possible to the normal state, then we just continue with this was normal before. So this and then what do we change then? So nothing, I guess. So it makes sense to some changes now, and that's why I find it interesting to think about new always found it interesting, but now I see a chance to at least do something and not business as usual. So this guy, similar than the Gemeinwohl-Ökonomie of Christian Felber, this guy has also interesting national economy thoughts. And it is a lot about taxes, not US Texas, tax stuff. So yeah, he also wants a new system, and the system he's calling it participating socialism. And yeah, this has some interesting thoughts. So where to begin? Oh God. So it means that people should have way more rights in companies. It's similar than with Felber, I think. So I think in huge in the DAX companies, in the 30 biggest German companies, the workers have around 50% of the votes, and this is something, but in smaller companies it's not. In other countries, in Sweden is 35 or something, but in all companies, not just in the big companies. But this is yeah, and also he thinks so this should at least be 50%, and he says it's ridiculous that we think that one person or just a few, if you have some more people in bigger companies, they decide stuff, but in the end it's ridiculous that just a few people decide for in bigger companies for 10,000, 100,000 workers. So worldwide, how should they know what the workers want to do? And it's ridiculous that they don't have the chance to put some ideas also to the company, I would say. And the company, so how did the company grew up? I mean, yeah, you put hard work, that's right. I'm not judging the people at all. So they do hard work, but it's a structural thing. So, or you just get a company from your parents. So I mean, you just got it, and then you decide for I don't know how many people. It doesn't matter if it's 10 or 100,000 somehow. Yeah, this is definitely a thing we should talk about. So it's in the end it's the same idea, like more democracy. People think yeah, there's more direct democracy, or people have more can decide more stuff than just go to the elections every 4 or 5 years. So this is the same idea in companies, I guess he's explaining. And then there's also now you have the shareholders. If you're a big shareholder, then you can decide what's happening, right, in the company. And this he also says it would be enough if you have if one shareholder. It doesn't matter how many percent of the shares stocks he has. So, but he just get a maximum of 10% of the votes within the company, which makes also sense to me. So that still the workers have something to say within the company. Yeah, that's a. I mean, there's nothing. It's ridiculous that it's not like this. So this is one part. Then there's another thought. Then he wants definitely higher taxes, and the tax it's like this. You get 90. If you, I mean, he's just caring about the billionaires because he's saying yeah. So the billionaires, they don't contribute that something is really going better in the world. So that it's it's a few people. They have, I mean, 1%. You know, this have the same amount of money, or how you want to call it, than the poorest 50%, or the 10%, the um, the richest 10% have 80% of the whole money. So I mean, yeah, this is ridiculous. And then he shows in his studies, in his research, this is becomes interesting for me, because it makes it plausible, the whole thing, and clear. So he shows with his data that from beginning the 80s until now, that uh, nothing the 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 rich people become way more rich, and the poor people way poorer. So I mean, you maybe know all this. I also know, but it makes it clear with endless data he was searching together with other people in the World Inequality Lab in Paris, and so he showed that richer people, so the inequality was way increasing in the last 40 years, and but the holy GDP, so the BPE, GDP, the holy thing in economy, wasn't better or higher than the from 1940, 1950 to 1980. So this means the politics from the 70s, starting from the 70s with the neoliberalism, uh, it big, the inequality was increasing a lot. Um, I mean, it's going like this, but I mean, sure, he also says the whole thing is going up, so the poorest are also, this is always the people, the standard economic people say, yeah, everybody was getting richer globally, thought, but yeah, that's right, he also says, but still the inequality within a society was splitting way more than before the neoliberalism. So if you watch or read his book or watch something, then you will see it. I just give you a little idea what he's saying, because I think he's interesting what he's saying. So, and yeah, for me, yeah, it's clear. So for me now, it's the what can they say? If you see the data, it's clear what's happening. So we need taxes, and he wants to make huge taxes, especially for the billionaires and super rich people. So that you an income tax, tax for what you already don't know the formal words. That's funny. I forgot. So there's three taxes: income tax, tax you if you give the money to your children, and another tax, the money you already have. So these three taxes, and he wants to put 90% tax on the money you already have per. This was a thought. So what becomes interesting, that the I mean, now they stopped the pre-election thing. Warren and Sanders, they said that they were interested in Piketty's idea and in his system or concept, and they really wanted to do stuff like he's saying. So it's not that it is just a, I don't know, an idea like, oh well, no, it's impossible, all the standard economists are saying. So it's something, it could work if the right politicians just do it. So but everybody knows Sanders already stopped, so we just can hope that Joe Biden get it and will go more in this direction. And so what they wanted to do is like to put 8% of tax um, on your money you have. So each year, this means if you have 100 billions, then each year you lose 8 billions around, and then in 10 years you just have 20, and the whole money goes to the society, to the stuff we all now see, the health system and all this stuff which needs money, and also to the people. They're just also there. So, and all this is, then people come and say, yeah, then the billionaires leave the country, but yeah, they also wanted to put an exit tax. So if you leave the country, you just have to pay a 40%, I guess, if I remember right. But whatever, the idea is clear. So because it's always, you need to do it globally, which is right, but you can also do it within one country. I mean, sure, the US is the country, has more impact, but still Germany could also do it. So it's ridiculous. So, and so there is, so for me it seems that the rich people, how can they say it's the right thing? We are important. That's always, even old IFO president Hans-Werner Sinn, he also said it always, yeah, they will just leave, and the billionaires, and we need them, they are important, the society needs rich people and poor people, which is following according to Piketty also right, but not in this inequality. Not everybody wants to do the same thing. Some people are more interested in money, some more in doing their own life, and so, but yeah, it's not with the new data you can see in Piketty, it doesn't make sense that so many, it's more than 2,000 billionaires exist and endless millionaires. So they don't contribute something to to the society, that inequality is decreasing, or it doesn't make sense. So it's ridiculous. So and this money you get from the billionaires, you can just what Piketty wants to give every person 120,000 euros or dollars, I don't know. It's, yeah. So, and when you reach the age of 25, so then you have something, so you can do whatever you want. So he's not for the basic universal income, but this is his idea, which is also interesting. But you can see there's some a lot of same ideas how to make to bring more money to the whole society or whole world even. And I found it quite interesting, and I think it's worth to check him out. The whole Guzman and Saez, they are more economists, they are also interesting. All learned from Atkinson, I think, and now they are professors in different countries. Piketty is professor in Paris, and Guzman somewhere in US, I don't know. This makes a bit hope, because I guess the national economists subject. So in university is like 95 or even more percent is just the neoliberal bullshit you learn there. So it's ridiculous. So it's really ridiculous. So it's no other ideas are allowed. You just everybody's learning the same stuff. Nothing, no diversity, no pluralism, nothing. So and this is also the word pluralism, plural economy. This is a cool community with these kind of people. They try to think economy different and in a more equal thinking. So for me it's totally clear that we that we need these people now, that they get some people, some audience. So it's and hopefully also some politicians will listen to them, because it's clear the way of how we do economy is quite fucked up. Even people are still proud of it, but in global sense it's fucked up, I would say. So yeah, there are some new ideas, and also if you go to climate change topic, Piketty is also talking a bit about it, and it's also clear that it's similar with the money. So the one person with the richest person, they are also polluting the environment with the same than the 50% of the poorest people. So 1% makes the same amount of pollution than 50%. So this something is wrong. So that's why he's saying, so if we want to fight climate change, we need to fight inequality. So this is his thing. So this is the thing we need to fix. That's a systematic thing. So a lot of stuff. I think this was something. I'm more or less finished, I guess. So I hope we can record the Neu 3 composition in June, and then at one point I can show you the recordings and the whole thing, what we made out of it musically, with this idea of extending polyrhythm speeds. So I don't know, let's see what's happening next week. I don't know yet, so I say thank you and goodbye, people. Have a nice time. See you. Tschüss.